Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Shaughnessy and welcome to my channel where I dare you to live, be, and do. A lot of you guys DM me, a lot of you guys message me about my celibacy journey, about my marriage, about just relationships in general. And I'm kind of amazed about that because I'm like, wow, out of all the stuff that I do, people really care about relationship advice. You know, when you guys see me on Instagram and you see me and my husband, you see the love and the joy and the friendship that we have, just know we worked our butts off for that, okay? That was not something that came easy. We dated for 6 years before we got married, and the first 3 years were us dating in college, and that was a rocky experience. Like, if you guys have been in college or just being young, you guys know that when you're first dating, it's some stuff, that you have to push through. But we pushed through because we knew that we loved each other. And we knew that there was something there worth fighting for. So when we got older and we really got out of college and we were like, look, we got to make some good choices and we really got to decide to choose each other. If this is going to be it, let's stop playing and let's really get serious. And so we did that. You know, I really came to my husband and was like, look, I want to be celibate. I want to get myself together all the way, either you with me or you without me. And so, that really pushed our relationship to where it is now. But I had to do a lot of soul searching and a lot of growing to get to that point. And so that's what I want to share with you guys today. And if you guys want to know more about our celibacy journey and what we did, I have that two-part video where me and my husband talked about it from my side and from his side. So make sure that you guys go ahead and check that out. But let's just go right into this whole dating talk, okay? What I wish I knew. The first thing that I really wish that I would have known when dating was to have an expectation, I think when you have an expectation, scratch that. I know that when you have an expectation of what you want from somebody else, it makes your entire relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a dude, whoever, it makes it so much easier. When I started dating, I didn't have an expectation of how I should be treated. Of course I knew you're not about to run over me. I knew how to roll my eyes and roll my neck. I knew how to, get at somebody, but I didn't know how to have a real conversation about what I expected, So what I wish I would have known and what I would tell you if you're dating right now is to create some type of standard for your dating life. Some of the standards that I would say is, for one, you need to be on the phone with me. Texting is great, I appreciate it, but I need to have an actual phone conversation with you. I need to have conversations and know who you are. And I think that's too what really won me about Justin. He stood out and stood out to me because when he thought about me, he would call me. Other dudes that I was talking to, at the time, they would text me. He would call me and we would have conversations. And he really stood out to me because he invested that time in me. My second thing would be, we got to go on dates. Me and my friend, one of my college roommates, we were cracking up because we were like, wow, we were in college for 4 years. And I remember being on 1 or 2 dates out of 4 years, and even before I dated Justin, I think I started dating Justin the end of my second year of college. So I was, I went on, was talking to other dudes and never went on dates. I would sit in cars and have conversations. I would, pull up, I would be in apartments, I would smoke and chill and, do all of that, but never go on dates. And so I understand that when you are in college, when you're in high school, when you're younger or whatever, the money is low, right? You don't have a lot to work with, but a day could be small. It could be meeting up at a coffee shop. It could be, just going to get pizza. It can be something small. It could be going to McDonald's. But the point is that you are putting an expectation on this dude to spend money and to spend time. And if they're not willing to do that in the right setting, then you know this person is not right for you. And I just think that that's where people get it twisted. Like sometimes we can get so mad at guys because they're not doing this and they're not doing that. But it's like, really, you're not specifying what you want from this person. If you accept anything, people are going to give you whatever. So you have to really let people know what you want. If you want to go on dates, let people know. If you want this, let them know. Like, I think a lot of women get it messed up because they're expecting people to read their minds. And you know, I've been with Justin for a long time now, and he still don't know how to read my mind. I have to explicitly say what I want from him. And it's not that he never wanted to do it. He just didn't know that I wanted it. And so that's what you have to do. You have to start letting these guys know what you expect and what you want from them, and stop being afraid to ask it. And I think that's another thing. I was afraid to ask because I'm like, okay, if I ask for this, they might not want to talk to me. I might be doing too much. But don't be afraid to ask for more, because if you settle in, if you are going ahead and going with his flow, you're going to end up in the same pile with the other chicks, you know, the ones that didn't work out. One thing that I did have learned is that when I started expecting things from Justin, he started to really value me in a different light. When I started expecting more and saying what I wanted, he realized that I was serious about myself, for one. And if he was serious about me, then he really had to get on board with what I want. You have so much power as a woman. You have so much power in what you're giving out to these dudes. And you have to know that they're going to follow you. And if they're not willing to do what you want, on to the next, you know. Don't be so wrapped up in wanting somebody that you're willing to just waste your time and throw yourself and throw your needs and stuff to the back burner. And another thing that you don't need to be doing is going with his flow in the beginning, and then once you got him locked down, now here you come with all of this stuff. Here you come with all of these changes. That is so manipulative. And I know that a lot of us do that because we're too afraid to share our real selves in the beginning. We want to kind of catfish people and make them think that we're cool with all of this stuff until we get them locked down, and then we're starting to argue and starting to bring up stuff and starting to say what we wanted when we didn't even present that in the first place. So I went on a little rant right there, but you guys get what I'm saying. Create an expectation for your dating life, and create an expectation of what you want from these dudes, because if you don't, you will literally end up in a relationship that you hate, or in a relationship being somebody that you're not, and then wishing that that person would allow you, you know, the liberty to be you, or wishing that that person would read your mind. And that's just not going to happen. So the second thing that I wish that I would have known is to watch my examples. Watch the people that I am, you know, sharing with. Watch the people that I'm getting my advice from. My advice came from friends and one or two family members. I was always afraid to ask my mom for advice because I come from a huge family and a lot of people gossip in my family. So I knew my mom couldn't keep a secret. So if I asked her something, my whole family would know about it. So I only had my friends to go to, and I had like an older cousin, and nobody had a actual relationship that I wanted. So you know, when they gave me advice from their brokenness. They gave me their advice from their dysfunction. So you really have to start getting yourself around people who you respect, and that you respect their relationships and their marriages, you know. Even if you're young, even if you're only in high school or only in college, like, find yourself somebody that you look up to. It's so important to have a mentor. And I really wish that somebody would have told me that, like, find somebody that you can look up to and you can aspire to be like them in their lives and their choices and in their relationship. You're only as strong as the people who are around you. So if you're around a bunch of girls whose, you know, niggas ain't doing nothing for them, then you're going to have that same type of advice, you know? That's my question. Who are you looking to for advice? Is it healthy advice that you're receiving? Does this person really have a relationship or, you know, a marriage that you really want? If not, go out and find people. Like, I'm literally extending myself to you right now. If you have questions about, you know, relationships or life choices, like, come talk to me, you know, find me on Instagram, DM me. Like, I'm willing to share that with you because I didn't have that, and it's just so valuable to have somebody to help you. And for me in my own life, I look to my pastors. They have an amazing marriage. Like, they're rich in so many ways. They have, first of all, they got money. Second of all, they have an amazing marriage where I see them hugging and kissing on each other, loving on each other, going on dates on a weekly basis. I see their kids excited and happy and always hugging and loving on each other. I never came from a family where we hug and love on each other that much. We love each other, but the affection has never been there. So being able to see somebody be affectionate, that's always something that I wanted, but I never knew how to do it. I never knew how to. It just was never taught to me. So being able to see somebody doing that, it helps me because it shows me an example of where I can be and what I can do. And so it's so important for you to have those examples too. So the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is just keeping your future self in mind. That I never did that. When I was dating dudes or, you know, giving guys my number, I never really thought about me and how it is going to affect me in the long run. Who you date is an example of your standards and who you are, to be honest. So if you're dating a dude that doesn't respect you, if a guy that's cheating on you, a guy that you might think is cheating on you, it reflects your self-worth and your self-love. And, you know, if you don't love yourself, okay, you know, it's okay. A lot of us don't. You know, I'm guilty of it too. I have been guilty of not loving myself, and still I work on it. But at least identify that you don't and start working on it. Don't stay and let people beat up on you. And just because somebody isn't hitting you, it doesn't mean that it's not an abusive or toxic relationship. If you are constantly wondering if somebody is being faithful to you, if somebody truly loves you and cares for you, that's not the right relationship that you need to be in. And, you know, I remember, you know, being, you know, around a boyfriend or whatever, and the phone was down when we were talking because he didn't want me to see his notifications. I remember like the phone ringing and my whole heart stopping because I'm trying to listen, wondering who he's talking to, or having to, you know, sneak and look through DMs and look through texts and trying to find things because I knew deep inside that it wasn't right. If you're in those types of situations, like, that says a lot about you. And I just want you to know that when you stay in those situations with these dudes, it's a reflection of how you see yourself. You got to love yourself more and know that there's more out here. Just wait, because when you wait, like, anything that you're rushing into, anything that you're doing out of convenience is going to hurt you in the long run. For me, like, my relationship wasn't perfect in the beginning, but once I realized that I wanted more, I took a pause and I was like, no, I'm not dealing with nothing less than the best. You know, like, once I started really getting closer to God and listening to him, because he was, you know, on my back. Like, he was like pulling me, like, girl, like, get your life together, you know, like, he was really after me, and I was running away from God, like, and I'm not ready to give up, you know, sex. I'm not ready to give up the dick. Like, you know, I'm not ready to, you know, be all holy. I'm gonna do that when I get older. But I didn't understand that he wasn't chasing after me to, you know, imprison me. He was trying to save me from myself and save me from messing up my life and save me from choosing these people and choosing these situations that were going to have a long-term effect on my future. After I really did start going on the right path, I had to deal with a lot of baggage from the old relationships and the situations that I was in. A lot of baggage. Once I really did start to unpack that stuff, I would just cry because I let a lot of things happen to me. And in the moment, they didn't seem like a big deal. But when I really sat back and realized what I let happen to me and what I let people do to me, I was like heartbroken. I was ashamed. You know, I was angry and ashamed and upset with myself because I let somebody do this to me. I tried to blame the dudes for it, but when I look back, it was me. I chose. You always have a choice. You always have a choice to be in a situation. You always have a way out. You always do. But if you stay there, the only person you have to blame is yourself. And it only gets worse because once you get in one bad situation, it gets easier to just go to the next one. That's even like when I lost my virginity. Each time I had sex, it got easier. It got easier because I was losing the respect and the love for myself. And I know a lot of people, they love sex. They enjoy it. They choose to do it. But there's a lot of women who are using sex as a way to keep somebody. They're using sex as a pawn. And you got to be careful for that, because if you're using it to get something, if you're using it to manipulate, just know that you are sacrificing a large part of yourself and you're going to pay for it eventually. So I know this was a heavy one. It was a deep one today, but I would just really say, like, the biggest thing that I wish I would have known was to listen to that small voice on the inside of me. To listen to my conscience, because it's God at the end of the day. It's God's direction. There was so many times where I knew that I shouldn't have been in a certain situation, where I knew somebody wasn't right for me, when I knew that person was cheating, or I knew that person was a liar, or I knew that person wasn't right. But I went with it anyway because I was so worried about having somebody, or I was so worried about being loved, or, you know, I was so consumed with it that it didn't matter. I ignored that voice, and I had to pay for that choice later on. And so I'm just saying, like, follow God's voice. And that's what I love so much about God's love. He is never trying to take anything from you. He's always trying to get something to you. So if you're feeling like you don't feel love or you don't have love around you, I really want to challenge you to tap into God's love. It's not that deep. It's not that hard. Just say yes. Just be like, look, God, I tried it this way. Look, God, I watched her video. I'm not trying to go, you know, down all these destructive paths. I just want what you have for me. How do I get it? Help me each day to make the right choices, Lord. If there's people in my life, guys in my life, you know, even friends in my life who aren't right, show me how to get rid of them. If I can't get rid of them on my own, let them get away from me. Push them away from me. Do what you got to do, Lord, because I'm just trying to be where you want me to be. And I just want that life that you have for me, God. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to say. Just be honest with him and just know that he loves you. I think so many of us are chasing love and it's right in front of us. So look, I could talk about this forever. I hope that this video really helps you guys. If you leave with anything, just listen to that voice of God. Have an expectation for yourself. Know that you deserve more. If you don't believe that right now, then ask God to help to heal your heart. Ask God to help you to really value and love yourself, and start reading the Bible. Start figuring out, how does he love you? Look up some scriptures in those Bible apps and figure out how God loves you, and ask him to show you his love. And once you get that, you'll get yourself in the right position. But just know, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I am here whenever you guys need me. I really want this channel and this platform to be something that you can go to for help at all times. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you comment, let me know, share this video with somebody who needs to hear it, and I will see you guys in my next video.